So I'm just coming here to talk about something prophetic today, something that just happened that is of great importance in the prophetic biblical sense. And first I wanted to quote 2 Samuel 2 verse 11, which says, "The length of time David was king in Hebron over Judah was 7 years and 6 months. The true historical record is that David was 30 years old when he became king, and he reigned 40 years. In Hebron, King David ruled over Judah 7 years and 6 months, and then in Jerusalem he reigned over all Israel and Judah 33 years. The exact age of Jesus being crucified at the age of 33 that he was. So Hebron was extremely important, but this situation just happened that this Palestinian sheikh has a plan for peace with Israel. So let me just share this with you. Aref al-Jabari, former governor of Hebron and head of the Jabari family in the area, attends a meeting with elders of the Jabari family to deny media reports it was ready to break off from Palestinian Authority and sign a peace deal with Israel as a separate emirate in Hebron in the so-called occupied West Bank on July 6th of 2025. Could the key to Middle East peace come not from military victory or White House pressure, but a coterie of sheikhs in the West Bank? Almost certainly not, according to regional experts, but that didn't stop an unorthodox proposal this week from 5 prominent sheikhs in the Hebron region from stirring excitement among some in the region, particularly among those who are eager to advance peace that sidesteps the possible creation of a Palestinian state. The sheikhs offered full recognition of Israel as a Jewish state and proposed a peaceful break from the Palestinian Authority to form an autonomous emirate of Hebron aligned with the Abraham Accords. The region would partner with Israel and include zero tolerance for terrorism, according to a letter from Sheikh Wadi al-Jabari, a senior figure in one of Hebron's most influential clans, to Israel's economy minister. The letter was first reported by the Wall Street Journal. Jabari told the newspaper that he and the other sheikhs, who remained anonymous, understood that there was no point in pressing for a Palestinian state. There will be no Palestinian state, not even in 1,000 years, he said. After October 7th, Israel will not give it. Barkat, who, according to the report, met with the sheikhs around a dozen times over the past 5 months, praised the proposal, arguing that the Palestinian Authority has lost the trust of both its own people and the Israeli public. The Wall Street Journal profiled Wadi al-Jabari, a Hebron sheikh, leading a proposal for peace with Israel that would sidestep the Palestinian Authority. Sheikh Jabari wants peace with Israel and to join the Abraham Accords with the support of his fellow sheikhs. Who in Israel is going to say no? On Wednesday, al-Jabari's car was set ablaze in East Jerusalem in an act of vandalism widely seen as a response to his proposal, and some members of his family formally disowned him. Another article says 5 Hebron sheikhs pen letter asking to join Abraham Accords as emirate and dismiss the two-state solution. This one says a group of 5 leading sheikhs in the Palestinian Authority Hebron district sent a letter to the government expressing a desire to join the Abraham Accords and to have peace with Israel, the Wall Street Journal reported. The letter, addressed to Economy Minister Nir Barkat, expresses the sheikh's desire to break off from the Palestinian Authority and establish Hebron as an emirate that recognizes the state of Israel as the nation state of the Jewish people. Then the state of Israel shall recognize the emirate of Hebron as the representative of the Arab residents in the Hebron district. The letter describes the proposed arrangement as fair and decent and says that it can replace the Oslo Accords, which only brought damage, death, economic disaster, and destruction. Definitely something done by Bill Clinton. Barkat tells the WSJ that the old two-state paradigm has failed and that the Palestinian Authority is not trusted among the people and in Israel. The minister has hosted Sheikh Wadi al-Jabari, one of the most influential Hebron clan leaders and spearhead of the initiative, and other sheikhs in his home in Jerusalem for dozens of meetings since February. Sheikh Jabari wants peace with Israel and to join the Abraham Accords with the support of his fellow sheikhs, who in Israel is going to say no, Barkat says. And there will be no Palestinian state, not even in 1,000 years, Jabari tells the newspaper. After October 7th, Israel will not give it. Another sheikh who joined the initiative concurred, to think only about making a Palestinian state will bring us all to disaster. The WSJ says other sheikhs who agree with the initiative spoke anonymously to ensure their safety. Jabari has long criticized the PA and backed cooperation with Israeli settlers, but has remained a marginalized figure in Palestinian national politics. And so this is considered the revolutionary plan of 5 Hebron sheikhs. And according to the newspaper, the letter's authority seek a timetable for negotiations to join the Abraham Accords in a fair and decent arrangement that would replace the Oslo Accords. And the sheikh says the Oslo Accords agreed to by Israel and the PLO in the 1990s have brought upon us a corrupt Palestinian Authority instead of recognizing the traditional, authentic local leadership. Dr. Mordecai Kadar, a senior research associate of the Begin Sadat Center for Strategic Studies and expert on the Muslim world, told JNS that he is optimistic that the letter represents a turning point. Kadar, who had been promoting the idea of clan rule for the Arabs of Judea and Samaria for 25 years, said that Israel and the rest of the world assumed that the Palestinian Authority is one united entity which could become a state, when in reality it was afflicted with clan feuds, differences, and divisions. He said that the letter is the first real challenge to the PA's existence since Hamas took over Gaza from the PA 18 years ago. In general, the Arab world, the notion of nationalism has failed in places like Sudan, Libya, and Syria, Iraq, etc., because traditional divisions are based on ethnic groups and sects. When there is a struggle, nationalism fails to solve their problems, he said. Kadar explained that Westerners look at the Middle East through a lens, which is irrelevant in this part of the world, he said. The Western world keeps failing because it doesn't understand the culture of this area, which is based on the clan. Kadar said that the PA's biggest failure was trying to become an entity which unites all the cities and clans under its jurisdiction. And he said the Hebron clan decided to undertake this initiative regardless of what happens in the rest of Judea and Samaria. They hate them, the other clans, anyway. Ultimately, though, Kadar said that the idea of bypassing the PA and supporting clan rule is in Israel's hands. It depends on us, he said. The IDF and other security branches, which are dealing with populations in Judea and Samaria, need to make it happen. It's a matter of government policy. Kadar said that it means diverting cooperation from the PA in the Hebron area to cooperation with the clans, as the PA is their enemy. Yishai Fleischer, the international spokesman for the Jewish community of Hebron, told JNS that the sheikhs offer represents the end of the Oslo Accord and the beginning of the dissolution of the Palestinian Authority. He said that the letter demonstrates that the Israel versus Palestine narrative is a fraud. In reality, there are other narratives. There are many so-called Palestinian Arabs who don't want the PA and are looking for a way out of it. To recognize that reality and to give it space in the discourse is very important. Fleischer said that what the Hebron clan is saying with a lot of courage is that Israel isn't their enemy. Rather, their enemy is the PA and Hamas. He said that it is extremely significant since normally we're used to hearing that Israel is destroying their lives, and now they're pointing a finger at who is really undermining them. Fleischer said that the leaders of the Hebron clan are expressing what they really want: equality amongst their clan, residency in Israel, and the freedom to work and travel. This is based on acceptance of reality that Israel is here, and it's something that they want to accept because there's an opportunity for a decent life here, said Fleischer. Fleischer said that the biggest obstacle to moving forward with the plan is the fact that the Israeli security services are used to operating with the PA, and they will have to adapt, which is easier said than done. But he said it's worth a shot. And the PA is a jihadist towards Israel and suppressive of its own people. And they have not brought peace with Israel, nor a decent life for their constituents. So they are a total failure, he said. Fleischer said that the way to move forward is acknowledging Israel can't divide the land, but rather Israel should recognize the cultural regions which exist within and give them a modicum of their way to administer justice and order. Let them eradicate jihadism in their Middle Eastern way. Let them get Israeli residency to work and have a decent life in Israel, he said. He added, Israel will be the sovereign, but they will have cultural autonomy. And these two communities will live and flourish as part of the Abraham Accords. Yisrael Gantz, ahead of the Binyamin Regional Council and chairman of the Yisha Council, told JNS that the abandonment of the clan of the notion of the PA state should be recognized between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea was a good step forward. Gantz made his case for Israeli sovereignty, instead saying the only recognition should be that the Jewish people are the sovereign in this territory, the land of their ancestors, and added, a population that accepts this principle along the principle that the region is part of the sovereign state of Israel forever will be able to lead a good and happy life here. However, according to Samer Sinij-Lawi, chairman of the Jerusalem Development Fund, the plan is not practical or serious, nor does it represent the will of the Hebron Jabari clan. Sinij-Lawi shared a video with JNS of a press conference from Sunday, which he said featured members of the clan distancing themselves from the plan and claiming that Sheikh Wadi al-Jabari is not their sheikh. The plan published by the Wall Street Journal is not seen as practical nor accepted by the Palestinian wall-to-wall, he said. Sinij-Lawi said, today, the Council of the Al-Jabari family denied its relation, support, or knowledge of this plan. They denied knowing Wadi al-Jabari, the person whom the WSJ claimed to be the head of the family. Sinij-Lawi claimed the idea of the Emirates plan are old plans introduced by an Israeli scholar, referring to Dr. Kadar, but never caught the attention of the Palestinians or the Israelis. And that being said, Eli Perez, director of international relations in Israel's Defense and Security Forum, told JNS the letter demonstrates that the Oslo Accords are falling apart. The goalposts have been moved, and whether we are discussing Gaza or Judea and Samaria, the only future that can lead to a durable peace is one that is based on Israeli sovereignty alongside some element of local control for Arab residents. And this letter is just the beginning, he said. And the Prime Minister's office declined to comment. And of course, President Trump is in talks with Benjamin Netanyahu in Washington, D.C. as we speak. And then according to this historical record, it said a 2012 newspaper article featured Fareed al-Jabari, a Hebron sheikh, proposing a peace plan with an Israeli partner back in 2012. Though that plan had some backers, the proposal was much more widely dismissed when it broke into public view this week. Palestinian activist and Hebron resident Issa Amro panned the article as a dangerous fabrication and called out its author, Elliot Kaufman, a member of WSJ's editorial board, for shockingly poor journalism or deliberate misinformation. Elor Levy, the Palestinian affairs correspondent for Khan Public broadcaster, also dismissed the article as nonsense. Words come cheap, and these recycled statements have led to nothing in the past, he wrote on X. I advise the Wall Street Journal to focus more on the Wall Street Journal and less on Hebron. Michael Milstein, a former IDF intelligence officer and expert on Palestinian society, told Khan Public Radio that the initiative reflects a persistent fantasy among some in Israel that instead of dealing with a unified Palestinian leadership with national aspirations, it might be possible to divide Palestinian society into clans and local emirates, a kind of divide and conquer approach that would erode the idea of statehood. But the truth is, he said, no one in the Palestinian arena buys into this. Milstein compared the proposal's embrace by some to Israel's growing reliance on the Abu Shabaab clan in Gaza, a local militia Israel has backed in hopes it might help counter Hamas. Once again, like with the Abu Shabaab story, we're entering a situation where fantasies override clear-eyed assessment. Even some in the Jabari clan rejected the proposed releasing a video statement reposted on the Hamas-affiliated Quds News Network, disavowing it and its authors and affirming the clan's commitment to Islamic and national principles. The statement also boasted that the Jabari family has sacrificed hundreds of martyrs, wounded, and prisoners on the land of Palestine, a line omitted from the similar written disavowed shared on Amro on X. Still, the Jabari clan, which historically led the southern West Bank city and its environs for decades, is not representative of the wider Palestinian public, even within Hebron, he said, and they are very tribal in the sense that their allegiance is to the clan, he said. That orientation, he explained, sets them apart from most Palestinians, particularly outside Hebron, who tend to see themselves as part of a broader national identity. And that's why I don't see this working, he said. They will have a very hard time standing up against a much larger national organization like the Palestinian Authority, or even movements like Fatah and Hamas. Support for Hamas in the Hebron area, Chori said, stems largely from the resentment towards the PA, which is seen as corrupt and exclusionary, rather than from ideological alignment. It's not the kind of support you see in Gaza of people who necessarily want to oppose Israel, he said. Still, Jabari's proposal doesn't align with reality, he said, and I say this as someone who loves the Jabaris. They're like family to me, said Chori, who spent part of his doctoral research on the Jabari clan. If only it could work. And as I've told you before, being led by the Holy Spirit and seeing the various aspects come together, I truly believe that if both of them became part of the British Commonwealth, that King Charles, who would just be kind of a figurehead over the two, would be seen as the peace broker in the end. And then he would be king that would give power and authority to the Sanhedrin that's been revived and resurrected after 2,000 years. And the ones who oppose King Jesus, the true heir of the Davidic dynasty of the kingdom of Judah. So he's going to rule and reign forever when he returns, and he's going to take the throne from the king who the Sanhedrin picks. So it's important for the Jewish people to see this truth and not accept that king, but the one who's coming down from heaven, who saved them, the blood of the Lamb, who takes away the sins of the world, the second perfect Adam, which is God dwelling in a body of flesh made for him to reverse the curse of death in the flesh from Adam, who had sin and caused death to come upon the entire world. So all of this is going to be reversed when King Jesus comes to reign, Yeshua HaMashiach of Nazareth. So he is the true heir of the Davidic dynasty, and he's coming soon. And this is just one more aspect of the pieces of the puzzle of what is going on behind the scenes. I wanted to share it. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe and support this channel if you can. It's really needed. Thank you so much. And my links are down in the description box down below the video. Thank you so much.